Welcome class, I am Durgesh Kumar Pandey. Class, I am going to explain a chapter. The name of the chapter is Challenges of a Nation Building. Class, in this chapter, India was got the independence on 15 August 1947. And independence come with the partition. India was going to divide into two countries, India and Pakistan. Class, and during the national moments, there was a common consensus about the freedom fighter कि after the independent India will be ruled in a democratic manners, and well-being of the disadvantaged community should be ensured. So on these two things there is a common consensus among the leaders that after the independent India should be ruled in a democratic measures, and welfare of disadvantaged community should be ensured. But after the independence country, India have three challenges. First challenges is to shape a nation, and second challenges is class to establish a democracy, and third challenge is to ensure the well-being of entire society. To ensure the well-being of entire society. So these are the three challenges in our country class. After the independence, first challenge is to shape a nation. Class, India is a multi-religion, multi-linguistic, multicultural countries, and it was a very difficult to convince these diverse people in a single nation. And the task was taken, the responsibility was taken by the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, which was known as the Iron Man of India. Class. So first challenges is a class ki India is a place where the different religious community, cultural community, linguistic community reside, and the diverse country of India, how it will unite in a single union. It was a very difficult task. To shape a nation is the first challenge for us class, and it was a very difficult task. The partition of a country appeared to be prove everyone's wrong. Worse fear. Everyone is fear due to result of partition, and there was a serious question about the future of India, because India already divided into two parts, India and Pakistan, on the basis of religion. So it was a fear among the national leader ki India will again divided on the basis of language, religion, or different on the because they are different diverse community. So it was a great fear. So first challenge is class ki how we unite these diverse people in a single territory class. It means and second challenge is to establish a democracy. Second challenge is for us how we establish a democratic class. Constitution guaranteed the fundamental rights and extend the right to vote to every citizen. And India adopted the representative democracy based on the parliamentary form of government class. So India was adopted the representative democracy democracy. Class, what do you mean by representative democracy? Representative democracy means the country is ruled by a representative of peoples. People choose their representative by election, like a first past the post system, and these representatives are rule over the country. Means not direct rule, but India is ruled by the representative of people, and India adopted the parliamentary form of the government class. So class, second challenge is to establish a democracy. India adopted the representative democracy with the parliamentary form of government class. Parliamentary form of government. So class, first of all, what is a parliamentary form of government. Class, in a parliamentary form of government, the government have a three organ. Government have a three organ: executive, legislature and judiciary. Class, in a parliamentary form of government, executive is responsible their work against the legislature, and in a parliamentary form of government, executive is also the member of legislature, and the member of executive is elected from the legislature, and the tenure of executive are uncertain, and they are responsible their work against the executive. So that is why India was adopted the executive form of government, because parliamentary form of government, where executive is responsible for their work against the legislature or against the people class. Previously India was ruled by Rajas and Nawabs, and so we have a challenge ki how we learn the democracy of parliamentary form of government during the colonial period, and how we implement this after the independence. Many were saying that India is a poor country, illiterate country, so democracy is not successful here. But our leader was very brave. They choose the toughest path, and India was successfully organized a democratic election and proved wrong the Western countries ki democracy is only successful in a prosperous and educated nation. We are successfully organized the elections. Election commission was established in our country for election class. So we make our constitution. According to constitution, our country will ruled. Now class, come on the other challenges. Like third challenge is to ensure the well-being of entire society. The class, the third challenges was very serious because during the colonial period, the economy of India was ruined, and Britishers were destroy our textile industry, our farmers were also badly hit by Britishers' policy of indigo farming, etc. class, and our country was facing problems ki how we organize our economic development. So third challenge is to ensure the well-being of entire society and also the development. Because class we have a challenge of economic development. Class India was exploited by the British during the colonial period, and our economy was ruined during the colonial periods. Now India was got the independence, so we have a challenge ki how we make ensure the economic development of country, how we make the plan for a country. It was a challenge for us, and also we have a challenge ki how we ensure the development of a country class. We have a challenge ki how we ensure the well-being of entire society, basically scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and disadvantaged groups of the society. So we have a challenge ki how government make plan for them and how the poverty eliminate in our country. So this was a challenge in our country and for our government ki देखो our constitution clearly laid down that the principle of equality and a special protection of to the social disadvantaged groups and religious and cultural community. The constitution also set up in a directive principle of the state policy the welfare goal of the democratic policy must achieve. According to directive principle of state policy, our constitution so many ensure so many welfare programs for the disadvantaged groups. The real challenges was now was to evolve the effective policy for economic development and eradication of poverty. Ki how we make the policy for economic development and how actually we implement this, how we remove the poverty. These are the third challenges for our country class. Class, in the first chapter we will going to discuss about how we face the challenges of nation building class, how the British India, which are the two types of provinces, provincial state and princely state, how we manage to integrate in a country class. So we have a challenge class. The issue of national unity and security become a primary challenge at the time of independence. So in this chapter we will going to focus on to shape a nation, how we shape the nation which are very diverse, multi-religious, multi-cultures, multi-ethnic groups are living here in India class. Now class we are going to discuss the next thing, the process of partition. How the process of partition should happen in our country. Class on 15 August partition class. Uh, class on midnight of 14 and 15 August 1947, India was going to divide into two countries, India and Pakistan. But on which principle? Class the two nation theory, which was advanced by the Muslim League, and British India was going to divide on the basis of religious majority. Class, according to two nation theory advanced by the Muslim League, India consists of not one but two people, हिंदू एंड मुस्लिम. यानी भारत एक तरह के लोगों का देश नहीं है, भारत में दो तरह के लोग हैं, हिंदू और मुस्लिम्स. दैट इज़ वाई इट डिटरमाइन पाकिस्तान अ सेपरेट कंट्री फॉर मुस्लिम. इसलिए मुसलमानों के लिए एक अलग देश पाकिस्तान होना चाहिए. तो कांग्रेस ने इस थ्योरी का अपोज किया और कांग्रेस के कांग्रेस ने जो है पाकिस्तान की डिमांड का विरोध किया. बट 1940s के एरा में बहुत सारे ऐसे पॉलिटिकल डेवलपमेंट्स हुए कि द पॉलिटिकल कंपटीशन बिटवीन कांग्रेस एंड मुस्लिम लीग एंड द वाज वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड and both are competing for getting power, and the British rule led to the decision for the creation of Pakistan. और फिर ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने पार्टीशन के लिए जो फैसला ले लिया. देखो क्लास, नेक्स्ट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ पार्टीशन. प्रोसेस ऑफ पार्टीशन. Class, now British India was going to divide it into two countries, India and Pakistan. Class, on the basis of religious majority. Class, it was decided कि on the basis of religious majority, British India will be divided. So class, when the process of partition was start, first of all, we feel there are many problems. The first problem is that there was no single area in all over the country where Muslims are in the majority. But after the search, we find that in the west and the eastern India, some parts are in the Muslim majority. So it was decided eastern part of the country is become the eastern Pakistan, and western part of the country become the western Pakistan class. So the first and the second problem is that all the Muslim majority area was not ready to go with the Pakistan, like north-west frontier region, and their popular leader and undisputed leader Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was decided he was not ready to join. He was not ready to demand a Pakistan, but his voice was ignored, and northwestern frontier was merged with the Pakistan. And the third problem is कि in both the majority area which was chosen कि these are the majority area in the west and east, where so many non-Muslims are also in the majority. This is third problem. And the fourth problem is class की minorities of the both side. कि in India there are many minorities communities, and in Pakistan also many minorities communities. So they were many times targeted by a violence. So this is the fourth problem कि minority of both the community. And after the partition, after a short notice, they were asking to leave the room, leave the land. It was a very painful class, and these minorities are easily targeted by the majority of that area. Like Muslims were afraid of going to Hindu area, and Hindus afraid of Hindu and Sikh are afraid of going to Muslim area, and Muslim are afraid to going in the Hindus area. So class lakhs of Hindu and Sikhs in the area were now in the Pakistan, and equally large number of Muslims on the Indian side of Punjab and Bengal, and found themselves untrapped. Both the side of minorities find themselves trapped. They were to discover that they were undesirable aliens in their own home, in the land where they and their ancestors have lived from the century. As soon as it became clear that the country was going to be partitioned, the minority of the both sides become easily target of attack. No one had quite anticipated the scale of this problem. No one had any plan for handling this. Initially, the people and the political leader kept hoping that this advice will temporary and would be controlled soon. But very soon, the violence went out of the control, and minority of the both sides of the border were left with no option except to leave their homes, often a few hour notice. Within a few hour notice, they were forced to leave their house. Plus, the next thing is the consequences of partition. What are the consequences of partition? Consequences of partition. Plus, what are the consequences of partition? 80 lakhs people are migrated in this partition, and 5 to 10 lakhs people were killed. Violence related to this partition class, and this was the biggest transfer of population in the human history. And there was a killing and atrocities of the both sides of the border in the name of religion. People of one community ruthlessly killed and maimed the people of another community. Cities like Lahore, Amritsar and Kolkata was become the communal zones, and Muslims were avoided to go in the area where Hindus and Sikhs in the majority, and similarly Hindus and Sikhs were stay away from the area of Muslims, and everything is divided between Indian, Pakistan, tape recorder, bank, pin, railway staffs are divided into two parts. Many poets were write their the experience of partition. Many filmmakers were making movies on these issues, and during the partition, women were abducted by abductors, and many children lost their family, and many times women were forced by their abductor for marriage in the family class. So after the going of Muslim, only 12% Muslims are remain in their class. Many times families were kill their daughter for the family honors, and those who did manage to cross the border found that they have no home. For lakhs of these refugees, the country's freedom means life in the refugee camp for the month and sometimes year class. And now, after the going the Muslims, India follow the path of secular country. India become a secular nation.